Hello, everyone. This is Oles, and welcome back to the English Pro podcast, the place where you learn English through stories. You don't need a book or grammar notes today. All you need is your ears, your imagination, and a little patience. Today, I will tell you a story about a small town, a hidden garden, and a young girl who discovered a secret that would change her life. It's a story about curiosity, courage, and the magic we sometimes forget exists in the world. So, get comfortable, take a deep breath, and let's begin. In the town of Hawthorne, people always said life was simple. The streets were narrow, the houses close together, and everyone knew everyone else. Children played in the cobblestone streets. Shopkeepers greeted you by name, and the river that ran through town glimmered in the sunlight every morning. But for Lila, life was not simple at all. She was 12 years old, small and quick, with bright brown eyes and hair that always fell into her face. She loved to explore. While other children stayed close to their homes, Lila would wander the town for hours, into alleys behind old barns and along the riverbanks. She had a notebook, and in it, she wrote everything she discovered: birds, flowers, unusual stones, even small cracks in the walls. One rainy afternoon, she was walking near the edge of the town where few people went. The rain had stopped, and the clouds had parted just enough for a single beam of sunlight to touch something green between two old stone walls. Curious, she went closer. It was a small gate, almost hidden by ivy. She pushed the gate, and it creaked slowly, opening to reveal a path she had never seen before. The path led to a garden. It was unlike anything she had ever seen. Flowers of colors she didn't know grew everywhere. Trees bent low, creating tunnels of leaves. A small fountain trickled in the middle, clear water dancing over moss-covered stones. Lila gasped. No one in the town had ever told her about this place. She stepped inside, careful not to touch anything too roughly, and walked slowly along the winding paths. As she explored, she found benches hidden under trees, small statues covered in vines, and a few old books lying near the fountain. Each book was worn, the pages soft and yellowed. She picked one up and blew off the dust. It had no title, but inside were drawings, plants, animals, strange symbols she didn't understand. For a long time, she just sat on a bench, holding the book and looking at the fountain. The air smelled sweet, like flowers and rain mixed together. It was quiet, except for the sound of water, and for a moment, she forgot everything else: school, chores, even her little worries. Then she heard a voice. "Hello." Lila jumped. She looked around, but the garden was empty. "Who's there?" she asked softly. A small, elderly man appeared from behind a tree. He had white hair, round glasses, and a gentle smile. "You found it," he said, as if it were obvious. Lila nodded slowly. "Found what?" she asked. "The garden," he said. "This place doesn't like to be found by everyone. Only by those who really look." Lila's eyes grew wide. "Why?" she asked. The man chuckled softly. "Because magic, even small magic, must be protected. Not everyone believes in it. But you do." Lila didn't know what to say. She looked around again: flowers, trees, fountain. It felt alive in a way she couldn't explain. The man introduced himself as Mr. Fenwick, the keeper of the garden. He had lived there for decades, tending the plants, reading the old books, and studying the small magic hidden in the flowers and stones. He told her that the garden was special. It could heal, inspire, and even help people remember things they had forgotten. Lila listened carefully, fascinated. She wanted to ask everything, but she knew there was too much to say at once. Instead, she nodded, and Mr. Fenwick smiled. He gave her a small silver key. "This is for you," he said. "Only you can open the little chest near the fountain. It contains something that will help you see the magic in the world." Lila took the key, her hands shaking slightly. She looked at the chest, small, wooden, with intricate carvings. She turned the key slowly, and the lock clicked open. Inside, she found a small crystal, glowing faintly in the sunlight. It felt warm when she held it, like it had a heartbeat of its own. She looked up at Mr. Fenwick, who nodded gently. "Take care of it," he said. "It will show you wonders, but only if you are patient and kind." For the rest of the afternoon, Lila explored the garden under his guidance. He showed her hidden paths, told her about the plants and their uses, and shared stories about the people who had found the garden before her. Each story was magical, some happy, some sad, but all meaningful. Lila felt something she had never felt before, a sense of connection, not just to the garden, but to the world. She realized that curiosity, kindness, and patience could uncover things others missed. The sun began to set, casting golden light across the fountain. It reflected on the crystal in her hand, making it glow even brighter. Mr. Fenwick looked at her and said, "Remember, Lila, the world is full of hidden places. Some you can see, some you cannot. But the ones you find will always change you if you pay attention." Lila nodded, holding the crystal tightly. She didn't want to leave, but she knew she had to return home before it got dark. She promised Mr. Fenwick she would come back. And as she walked out through the ivy-covered gate, she felt different, braver, wiser, and full of wonder. She tucked the crystal into her pocket and walked along the streets of Hawthorne, feeling the magic she had discovered pulse quietly in her chest. The next morning, Lila woke early, her crystal still warm in her pocket. She couldn't stop thinking about the garden and Mr. Fenwick's words. She got dressed quickly, had breakfast, and ran out to explore a little more before school. The streets of Hawthorne were quiet, but for Lila, everything looked brighter. Every flower on the sidewalk seemed alive. Every bird in the tree sang with a new song. She smiled, feeling the magic in small things. The way sunlight reflected on windows, the way the wind moved through leaves, and even the sound of water in the river. After school, she returned to the garden. Mr. Fenwick was waiting, leaning on his walking stick. "Ah," he said, "I see the crystal has found its way into your heart." Lila held it up, smiling. "It's amazing," she said. "I feel different when I have it." "Good," he said softly. "That is the point. Magic doesn't always change the world. Sometimes it changes you. And when you change, the world around you begins to notice." Lila nodded, understanding something she could not explain with words. She followed Mr. Fenwick deeper into the garden. This time, he showed her a small pond, hidden behind tall flowers. In it, she saw reflections of herself. Not just her face, but her thoughts, her dreams, and the courage she had discovered inside. "You see," he asked, "the garden reflects what is already inside you. It helps you remember your own strength." Days turned into weeks, and Lila visited the garden often. She learned the names of the plants, how to care for them, and even how to read some of the old books Mr. Fenwick had. She began to write in her own notebook, drawings, observations, and little magical notes. One afternoon, as the sun was low in the sky, she noticed something unusual. The crystal in her pocket began to glow softly. It pulsed, almost like it had heartbeat. Curious, Lila held it out over the fountain. The water shimmered, and tiny lights appeared, floating above the surface. They danced slowly, moving like small stars. She gasped, stepping closer. This was magic she hadn't seen before. Not just hidden beauty, but living light. Mr. Fenwick watched quietly. "Patience," he said. "Magic comes when you are ready. And you, Lila, are ready." Lila smiled, feeling a warmth in her chest. She realized that the garden was more than a secret place. It was a teacher, a friend, and a reminder that the world always had wonders if you looked closely enough. As the months passed, Lila grew more confident. She shared her discoveries with friends in small ways, showing them a new flower, a drawing, or a story. Some of them laughed, some were curious, but all could see her excitement. And one day, Mr. Fenwick told her something she would never forget. "You are ready to care for the garden on your own, Lila. It will always be here, waiting. But now, it is also yours to protect, to explore, and to share." Lila felt proud and nervous. She looked around the garden one last time that evening before he left her to it. The wind moved gently through the trees, and the fountain's water danced in soft sunlight. She held the crystal close and whispered, "Thank you for showing me magic." From that day on, the garden became hers. Not just the flowers, the trees, or the fountain, but the feeling of curiosity, courage, and wonder that it had given her. She took care of it, learned from it, and, most importantly, remembered it. Even as Lila grew older and life outside the village called her to other places, she always returned. The garden waited for her, and every time she held the crystal, she could see the floating lights, hear the whispers of the wind, and remember the lesson she had learned. Magic is not always in the world. Sometimes it is in you, and with that thought, Lila smiled, ready to face every day in the world and in herself.